Hey everyone, David J here. I've got another gear demonstration for my friends at Maxon Effects. Today I'm demoing the AD999 Pro analog delay. Before we get started, I just want to say a word about the way we're going to demonstrate this delay pedal. As most of you know, when you have a delay and your amp has a loop, you usually put the delay in the loop. Always sounds great. But the real test of a good delay is, does it sound good in front of an amp? And that's the way that a lot of people have to run it because their amps don't have loops. The design is to keep the circuitry as simple as possible, to keep the tone as pure as possible, as in old school Marshalls, Fenders, AC30s. And the amp I'm going to be using today, the Dr. Z Z-Rec, no loop. We're going to be running the delay pedal in front of the amp to really hear how it's going to sound, okay? Let's get on the floor, take a look at the pedal, and get started. Okay, let's take a look at this beautiful Maxon AD999 Pro analog delay that I have on my pedal board here. Let's just start by talking about the features on it. We've got three knobs: delay time, your feedback, which is the same thing as your repeats, and then your delay level, which is the same thing as a wet and dry mix. We've got an input, true bypass, and then two outputs, wet output and dry output. And then we've also got this feature here, which is called the multi-delay, and this is what separates the 999 Pro from the standard 999. Essentially, it's like emulating tape echo heads and the ability to add in other delay times with your standard delay time. So what does that mean? You got your standard delay time coming out, okay? Then through these switches, you can add in a 3/8 time bouncing off of the delay that's coming out, or a 4/8 time, or a 5/8 time, or you can mix and match, throw them all up, whatever you want to do. You can get a lot of nice creative delay times coming out of your pedal. Under the hood, there are 8 Bucket Brigade delay chips, just big fat analog stuff, and 900 milliseconds of delay, which is a lot for an analog pedal. Let's talk about why we use analog delay to begin with versus digital delay. It's analog. It's warm and thick sounding, not a lot of high end. So for that reason, I love it, because when I'm playing, the delay repeats do not get in the way of what I'm actually playing at the time. That's a huge benefit to analog delays versus digital. Digital also can, of course, sound great, but it can be sterile and thin sounding and super high-endy, so it does get in the way of what you're doing. Okay, you know, either way, just manipulating it the right way is a good thing. But this is fat, thick delay straight out of the box. Okay, so enough talking. Let's just play through some of this stuff. So the first question that always comes up is, you know, does it do the edge thing, which essentially is something Van Halen did and a ton of other people, something like this. Okay, and that's actually plug from a song that I did off of on Steve Vai Live in the Astoria DVD way back in 2001. Type that into YouTube, you'll see the live version of it. But same kind of thing, awesome, super thick analog delay. It does that edge kind of that he uses in every song. And it sounds awesome. So let's get the settings here a little bit more normal, practical uses. And the way that I'm making that sound before we move away from it is cranking my delay level all the way to wet. And I've got my delay times and feedback set to, you know, something that works for that kind of sound, depending on what tempo you're going for. All right, let's pull this down here. Maybe we'll put delay, you know, we'll increase the delay time to make it slower. We will decrease the delay level to make it blend in a little bit more, and we'll leave the feedback where it is here. And I'll just play. Alright, so while I'm playing, I mean, you can't really hear the delay happening behind it, but it is actually filling in all this beautiful ambient space. That's what analog delays are all about. Really, really great job at doing that. And you can hear it, it's just not that obvious. Again, the high cut is in place, bringing down those high frequencies, and it sounds really, really great. remember, this is in front of my amp, okay? I'm going from my guitar to this OD808, which I'm going to demonstrate in a second, through the AD999 Pro delay pedal into the Z-Rec. There's no loop in the Z-Rec. It's just straight in the front. And still not getting in the way, okay? Okay, there's a demonstration of an overdrive into a delay, into the front of an amp. It still is not getting in the way. It still is retaining, you know, its beautiful analog warmth. That's a huge test, and I recommend that test for any delay pedal you're trying. Okay, let's increase our feedback and just see what happens when we do this. Almost is acting like a very long haul reverb of sorts. Of course, we're hearing the delays, but you can get a really nice kind of effect out of that. Very cool. So that's an example of a longer feedback. We didn't change the delay time at all. We just cranked up the feedback. We cranked up the delay level just a little bit. And again, you get those super long tails that can really create some nice ambient space. Let's bring that stuff back down and let's listen to the multi-head settings. All right, so that's our setting right now. Okay, let's crank up 3/8. Almost creating a slapback, very small room type of reverb. Because we're getting both our regular delay signal and now the 3/8 slapping against that other one. Again, there's without it and with it. So you can hear that nice difference. Let's go to 4/8. Okay, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, let's go to 5/8. A really nice kind of rhythmic thing going on. All right, now let's just experiment. Let's do 3/8 and 4/8. Okay, how about 3/8 and 5/8? About 4/8 and 5/8. Very, very cool. Almost like a, you know, Jeff Beck kind of thing. I'm not calling myself Jeff Beck, but you get the point. You know, you got a nice little ambient kind of thing happening. A little bit of overdrive. Again, all this is in front of the amp. It sounds really, really nice. So that is the Maxon ADD9 Pro. It's got the multi-delays in there, 900 milliseconds of delay, true bypass, all that good stuff. For more information, you go to maxoneffects.com. My name is David J. I'll see you next time.